So what I'll do is, just because it's the beginning of the course, I will prefer doing everything from ground up. So go to dev.azure.com/your organization. Now if you're already logged in, fine, it will automatically take you to that ID. But if you're not logged in, you'll have to log in. So under Sandeep Soni at deccansoft.com, which is my organization account, I am having access to this particular organization, Jan 2020 DevOps. Yeah, for the sake of few people, you may probably want to create a new organization and work with that. Absolutely no problem. You can create as many organizations as you want. Something. Now, once you get into the organization, very quickly you have to create a project. The starting point is always going to be a project creation. So I create my demo project. We can keep it as private, so only those people whom I am going to send invitation would be able to have access to the project. So right now there is only one member, that is myself. I can invite other members, but before we invite other members, the ideal thing we should do is go to the organization, go to organization settings, and under users you add users whom you want to send invitation. So right now I'll add this user, and I want to probably give access to the project also. The email invite is going to be sent to that particular user. So this user has logged in. No, there's something wrong I did. So I should delete it. I did not type. That means it is not even doing a verification actually. So I'll type now outlook.com, and I'm giving access to this project, and also I'm leaving the access level as basic. But he has not signed in, and unless he has signed in, I will not be able to use this user for assigning any task. So what I'll do now, go to in private window, and I will log in with that particular ID. I'll see an email there that I have been sent an invitation. You have been invited. Click on join now. Provide your username and password. So now this particular user identity was given as Rahul Rampurkar. I invited him by email and he has joined, and now you see this particular account also has access to the same company, same organization. So I have two windows now. This is the in private window where I am logged in as Rahul Rampurkar. This is my actual window where I am logged in as Sandeep Soni, and both are having access to the same organization. How? I actually invited that user to join here. Refresh this page and you'll notice that last accessed date has come, which is today's date. Because I have Visual Studio Enterprise subscription, I am getting the access level as that, but otherwise it is basic. The only difference I told you before between these two is, in Visual Studio Enterprise, if you already have a license, you don't need a separate license for DevOps. But for basic users, we need licenses beyond 5 users in one organization. In one organization, up to 5 users are absolutely free. So I'm actually not interested in this window. I just wanted to show you that one more user can be added. Click on close. And maybe that particular user whom I have added in this particular organization, I would prefer making it as a administrator. Always it is recommended to have at least 2 administrators. So go to permissions and you see project collection administrator. Right now it's Sandeep Soni, and project collection service account, that is not a user. And also you see there is a warning. There is only one project collection administrator. By chance, if the project collection administrator account is lost, this whole company would be lost, and that would be a dangerous situation. So it is always recommended to have another project collection administrator. So I will add that second user here. So like this, we can have multiple users, and for every user you can have certain role. So now this particular role is given to Rahul, and both of us are having same privilege in this particular organization. Though I am the owner, the other account Rahul is only going to be a member, but still Rahul also will have almost same permission as a project collection administrator. Application can perform all privileged operations on team project collection. Everything he can do. As much as I can do, he can also do the same things. Everything is allowed. You see, everything is allowed, and you don't have to change it. You can't change it. So like this, an organization has been created, and under the organization a project is created. You can go to the project, and from project also, if you want, you can send invitation to users. This is project settings. So here also you can go to teams and actually create multiple teams. So right now in this particular team there is only one user. You may want to add one more user. So the default team which is created is by name of your project. Under that, the creator is the only member. So I'm adding now one more member, which is Rahul. So in my team there are 2 members. Maybe you can actually create multiple teams if needed. So right now we have got one team. We can add a new team. We can call that as a web development team, a testing team, a design team. Like that we can add multiple teams. So let's say this is a development team, and here we again provide members. I mean, for now I don't have many users, so I'm adding same users as development team and the default team also. And of course, after you create the new team, you may want to make this as the default team and delete the old one. You can do that. So a new team is created. And yeah, anytime new members can be added. The administrator of this team is Sandeep Soni, because I only created that team. You can provide an image. All those are basic things. Now, once the team is created, you will be actually doing Azure boards. And whenever you are doing a board, remember you have to first choose a team now. Always you'll have to choose a team. For which team are you going to manage a board? So let's say I go for a default team only. Every time now it will ask me for a team. So the project which is created right now is a basic project. That is why we are getting basic process project. That is why we are getting to do, doing, done. Now you may want to change this basic project from, you want to change the process type from basic to agile. So go to organization settings, and here board has process. Go to the process. Right now default basic was used, and here you will find the project, and that is where you may want to change it. I'm changing the target process to now agile. Save it. Some warning is given, but that's fine with us because we did not add any work items. So nothing will be broken for us. Right? Update the column to state mapping, existing work items, blah 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 story. Now go back to the project, my demo project, and here now if you go to boards, the configuration is not valid. Correct this now because of the change. Oh, this is going to become tedious. We'll have to change all these names now to match the agile. So what I'll do is, to avoid this problem, you do that practice. I'll simply create a new project. I want to concentrate more on agile. So I'll create a new project, my agile demo project. Here I'll have to change it. That's it. Now in this, right now again only one member. I can now simply add the user. That's it. Over. Now go to board. This is the Kanban board. Right now there are no work items. So we'll take one at a time now. Let's start with the first under boards category, work item. You can add different types of work items. In Agile, they can be bugs, epics. They're sorted in alphabetic order, but at the highest level we always have is an epic. Now for demo purpose, I don't want to cause confusion. I'll simply give a simple naming convention, epic 1. That's it. I'm not worried about other details. I just created an epic 1. I go to back. Like there are multiple ways of adding. You can actually click here, and from here also you can add an epic. Epic 2. Save and close. This is quick. This plus mark is always going to be there. So in whichever tab you are, you can just go here and new work item and add it. Under epic always comes is a feature. So you may come here, add a feature. Let's say feature I want 1 which is under epic. So I'm using some naming convention. Feature 1 should be a child of epic 1. As of now it is not a child. They are all at same level. How to make them as children we will see. Like that I add now one more feature. I'll call this as feature 1, 2. This is the second child of that same epic. I add now one more feature. I'll say this is feature 2, 1. This will be the first child of second epic. But is there any relationship between them? You can actually go to boards and in board change to epic. No, you're not able to change to epic because the default setting for the Kanban board is you can only view backlogs at the level of features and stories. Now if you want to view at the level of epic also, which actually is not recommended, but by chance if you want to see epics, features and stories, all the 3 levels if you want to see here by any chance, you go to, there are 2 options actually. You can go to, simple shortcut would be here. Go to settings of the Kanban board, and in this it's not showing up here straight. So first let us go to the project settings. Not even project settings, should be at the organization level. Backlog levels, this is read only. Here we want one more actually. It's in project settings, team configuration. Here we'll have to put a check mark. Under project settings, team configuration, put a check mark. That's it. Now go back to boards. You can now see the level of Epic also. It's in backlogs. The same option, you have to go to boards, sorry, not boards, actually backlog. In backlog also, select your team, and under backlogs also you have the same option. You can check here. So at what level backlogs must be shown, that you can control here. Not recommended. I would not want to have this epics, but for demo purpose, let us keep it here. So now I have epic 1. Epic 1 has 2 features. Epic 2 has only 1 feature. Now that hierarchy, if you want to see, you can actually go to backlogs. No, I did not make them as parent child. So let's do parent child relationship now. Now how to do parent child relationship? Now I'll go to a particular epic, and here we will have link. Add a link. I want to create a new item, or I want to use an existing item. I already have a feature, so I'll go to, this is epic 2. I want to add a link type. Now you see this bullet. I want to add a link type which is feature to 1. So this is parent and this is child. Now if I changed, I can also do this. I have saved it. Now I go to boards. Rather, let's go to work item and then go to feature. I want this feature to be a child of this. How will I do that? Go to feature, and this time the link which you are going to create would be parent. I want to decide a parent. See this icon right now? It will swap the moment I change here parent. It has swapped. And now I'll provide here the link of epic. So feature 1, 2 is under epic 1. That's how the relationship. Save this. You may want to have back to work item. Epic 1. I add one more feature. I have only one feature right now, 1, 2. I want to add 1, 1 also. So here I should now change it to child. Feature 1, 1. So for epic 1, we have 2 children. Let's see the hierarchy. View as backlog, and you can expand. And not only that, from here itself you can add new features. A new work item, but here I want to change it to feature first. A new work item, and from here itself we are able to add. Let's say feature 2, 2. Add at the bottom. But this is not yet a child. If you really wanted a child of epic 2, then what we should have done is change this to epic 1. Now see, right now this is not there. Feature 2, 2 is not there. If you directly wanted to add feature 2, 2 as a child of epic 2, use this. Or it's adding a user story. Sorry, it's not adding a feature, it's going to user story directly. But we want user story to be child of feature. So we can go here and we can say a user story 111. A user story 112. and it goes on. So you are able to see the complete hierarchy. Epic 1, feature 1, user story. Under user story, you can add a task. Say task 1. Now for the task, you may want to give lot of properties. You can give link to your repo. Right now we don't have, so don't worry about it. You can link it to a user story. It's already getting linked. Parent will be user story 111 because from there I navigate it. So I'm just leaving it as, or we can give it as 1111. I'm just creating a hierarchy. I can add one more task. So if you have all your items ready in Excel or maybe in some documentation, very quickly you can add all of them over here. Various ways of doing it. So go to boards now. Now in boards, first let's finish it off with work items. Now in work items, we have got the first drop down, recently updated. So you can expand here and say recently completed. If at all anything is in complete state, we don't have anything in complete state. And recently created. So this will be in order. You see, ID is actually the order in which they are created. And the ID is not following the sequence for each type of work. It's a common sequence used for all type of work item. You don't really need to worry about it. But yes, many times we would want to refer to a particular work item by its ID. When an email is sent about a work item to somebody, ID will be put up in that email. That is unique. ID is always unique. But you don't have to set it anywhere. And you can't even edit it. So you recently created. Now, there are certain work items where you can actually do following. Like I am more interested in something like feature 1.2. So I can go to feature 1.2 and I'll say I want to follow this feature. Any kind of activity on this feature I would like to follow. And this also you can further customize it. Only receive notification from this work item when you have been mentioned. That means we will be mentioned somewhere. In the discussion it will be mentioned, in the description it will be mentioned, then only we are going to get the notification. But even if you are not mentioned and if the state of that work item changes, you may want to get the notification, then you have to use this. And of course you can do a custom. Whenever a state changes, assign to changes, and its iteration in sprint, if the iteration changes, then you may want to get a notification. So here following is important. So now once I have some item as followed, you can actually go to queries and there will be a built-in query. Not there. So yeah, it's there. You go to all and there is a built-in query, followed work items. You can just click here and all the work items which you are following will be listed here. Quick reference is there through queries. Go back to boards. Go back to work items. So like that, the ideal to always keep is recently updated. So you know the latest which are updated are on top. Then you have here the work items which are assigned to me, which I am following. You can actually filter it from here itself, where I am just mentioned my activities. So right now I'll just leave this default recently updated. This is to add different types of work items. Open in query, you can actually see the whole result. Actually you can filter here. You can say work item I want is only tasks and features. I'm not interested in everything. You can filter it and say which are assigned to me. You can specify based on state. Right now all are new only, so it is not displaying other state. But if there are items with other state, they will be listed here and we can filter them. So whatever we do here with all this, when we say open filtered view in queries, it will take me to queries. A new query has been created. You can see the editor. This is the result. And if you decide to save this query, you can do that. Give some name. My frequent something view. There are two types. One is called as my queries, the other is called as shared query. I'll come to that later. I'm just saving it in my queries folder right now. So you can go to queries, under queries, my queries, we have got my frequent view. Spelling mistake is there. So you can rename it. I have renamed it. Back to work items. We have column options. Right now you are seeing some columns. You can add or remove columns. You can add a new column and you can choose from the list. So you may want to probably see the priority. Default priority is 2 for all of them. You want to remove some columns, you can do that also. All these things can be imported. If you have a CSV file in the format, right format, you can just import them all into the work items list. You can do that. Yes, any item deleted will automatically go to the recycle bin. For example, I would like to delete, let's say this task I would like to delete. Test 1112. I would like to delete it. So just go here, delete. It's deleted, but you can always go to recycle bin, but that also takes you again to query. You are again in queries. And from here you can decide and restore it. You can either permanently delete it or restore it. I'm restoring it. So back in my work items, that item will be there. Yes, I wrote test. I can edit anytime. So with this, we have covered all the options which are there in work item. You may want to filter. You want to remove all the filter. Okay. You can just clear. All the items are otherwise filter or just delete it. Anytime you can get the filter back. Completed work items you may want to hide because this list will keep growing. Then we have got board. These boards are referred as Kanban boards.